What do you know about Korea? This documentary will talk about how South Korea pop culture has impact on consumer purchase behavior. The reason why I choose this topic is because recent years South Korea export country soft power that influence on consumer behavior and decision making. The documentary will start with a brief history of Hallyu development with few examples that have proven the influence analysis economic growth by Hallyu trend especially on consumer attitude changing, followed by explaining how consumer attitude impact on behavior and purchase change across different sectors and industry. Since Hallyu economic achieved tremendous success in past 15 years, study this phenomena will support us as marketeers to understand how cultures impact consumer decisions making and apply it in our future industry. There are a large number of research on the topic. This documentary will focus on studying how culture as a soft power impact on consumer perception and decision making. It will not be reviewed in details as only refers to relevant source and data. Let's begin with before South Korea became like nowadays, where they are widely known. Back then, after 1979, South Korea was liberated from under the jurisdictions of military government. This made the entertainment industry relatively independent in thinking and progressive idea, along with a fierce competition. With freedom of creativity, the new South Korea government saw an opportunity to promote and establish more organizations to support soft power to expand South Korea pop cultures around the world. Hallyu, which is the original Chinese phrase, literally means co-wave, connecting another culture, intruding deeply into their own. And the derived word Hallyu has been used to refer to the Korean cultural phenomena. Currently, there are approximately 104,777,000 of Hallyu fans all around the world. And this is the phenomenon that made Korean widely known. Starting from 2002, Winter Sonata was released in Japan and the Philippines. It becomes one of the most highest rated shows in the both countries. The following year, 2003, Daejangkum was released in 91 countries around the world. In 2009, the girl group Wonder Girls became the first Korean singers to appear chart 76 on the Billboard Hot 100 with the English variant of Nobody. Followed closely in 2012, as Psy, Gangnam Style maintained its rank as number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 consecutive weeks and finally reached 3 billion views on YouTube. The K-pop craze began to spread around the world in earnest. After that, in 2018, BTS became famous in US and made the number 1 in the top artist in Billboard Music Award after Justin Bieber owned it for over 20 years. Also, they are the first Asian boy band to perform in the Wembley Stadium. In 2020, Bong Joon-ho, the film director of Parasite, has made a new phenomenon for South Korea by won 4 Academy Awards in the Oscar, which includes the biggest award of the Best Picture, and that also make a new history for Asian film win this award. For this year, in 2021, which is talk of the town and widely known in recently, Squid Game, the Netflix series from South Korea which make approximately profit around $891.1 billion US and have 132 billion user views for the first 23 days after release. And those are an example of the Hallyu phenomenon that make people from all over the world pay a lot of attention to South Korea. For example, after Winter Sonata was released in 2002, the number of tourists visit South Korea was 111.42 thousand. Before that, in 2003 to 2005, when the series ended, the number of tourists coming to South Korea has almost doubled to around 295,000 people. Everyone's aim is to visit Nami Island, which is where Winter Sonata was filmed. Let's take a closer looking at the most recent flag on how Korean soft power influenced economic growth in 2020. BTS single Dynamite was predicted to have generated $1.4 billion in revenue for Korea's economy. Other sectors, such as tourism, has benefited from this industry. BTS 3 days concert in Seoul in 2019 attracted over 187,000 international tourists, bringing in about $790 million in revenue for the Korean economy. In recent years, tourists have flocked to South Korea drawn by the chance of visiting film and music video sets. We will analyze how Korean soft power has impact on consumer attitude and decision making. Let's take one of the most representative example is PPL on the media. What is PPL? PPL stands for Product Placement Regularization. The goal is presenting product and idea through media as indirect advertising to attract the potential customer. Let's have a look at the video and see if that's familiar for you.
Subway, Samsung smartphones, red ginseng extract, Hyundai cars, BBQ olive chicken.
However, product placement is only allowed in entertainment shows in South Korea, according to the Broadcasting Act. This is why PPL is frequently seen in South Korea drama and variety show. There is a figure to showcase the economic driven by PPL revenue from terrestrial television advertising in South Korea in 2015-2021. The IP economic known as famous influencer or celebrity use their own fame and personal icon to stimulate economy. This part we will analyze how BTS cultivations an extraordinary engagement on fan base to generate financial success. They have 34 million followers on Twitter and 20 million on TikTok, which show the huge fan base they have all over the world. Lately, BTS become an endorsement of Hyundai, which originally estimated their sales for Parasite to be around 25,000. After represented by BTS, they already received orders for 52,000 to date, and the number keeps growing. However, the number of customers continue to increase. Customers are unhappy with the wait and experts believe that Hyundai won't be able to fulfill the high demands anytime soon. These situations may lead to irritating customers. This is how they create psychological intimacy code by Jimin, one of the BTS members. Remember, there is a person here in Korea, in the city of Seoul who understands you. We are all in the different part of the world, in the different environment and circumstance, but at this moment I hope we can all give each other a warm pat on the back and say it's okay. Although Hallyu has achieved excellent success on country economy, it is now on the crossroad. The stressful competition and gender inequality on entertainment industry has caused suicide rate increase. The actress faced a very challenging moral judgment on their work due to the strict conservative social environment and class segmentation. They often receive heavily society condemned compared with the actors, which lead mental depressions and suicide rate keep on rising. The slave contact with the company request to be perfect image all the time have caused unfair income and physical unhealthy body. The fan economy brought negative impact on consumers to spend irrationally by influencing of their favorite celebrities. During the journey, it helped me to understand the factors influencing consumer purchasing decisions and helped me to find a way to correct the consumer decisions-making behavior in society. And it's accordant with my ability to respond Moreover, to responsive the business is also help to improve market and product development for the benefit of the market segmentation to meet the need of the consumer to match the type of product needs and help to improve marketing strategy of various business to gain the advantage over the competitors. Before starting the documentary, I only had a passion and interest in Korean cultures and media without realizing that each of the phenomena that I mentioned above has hidden some technique or theory. I am looking at only the user point of view. Another thing that made me do this topic because many of people around me are very interested in K-pop and they will buy everything that artist companies sell without any hesitation. And that is one of the reasons that made me want to do about this topic. After the video is done, I learned to think, analyze, and look at the another side of a service provider in order to make the consumer feel satisfied in the brand or products. Also, I have learned the behaviors of fan club. When they love some band, they will be loyal to them and they're willing to pay for it, such as a concert ticket or any merchandise, and the amount is not a problem for them. From doing this documentary, I know that most of K-pop fans fascinated by artists because they feel connected because of their main image, word, or song that affect their feelings of the consumer, which make them feel connected. On the other hand, of the series, many Korean film or series directors trying to insert some soft power to make the audience absorb it. So when they're thinking about Korea, they might thinking of might be a culture, which mostly in the period movie or series, or food, or possibly including product placement from various brands to make the audience think of them. For example, in the Squid Game, the director used the traditional Korean plays to run the plot, or the perhaps Parasite feature chapaguli, which is the Korean noodle dish made by the combinations of two types of instant noodle. And a lot of people are trying to cook that. And I was one of them who tried and it's really delicious. In addition, I also know that another side of the Korean industry that many people took their time to bet on pursuits of their dream, which they may have success or fail. That may cause them to miss out many things in living a normal life because the agency has many restrictions that they have to follow, which may cause stress to the point that it affects their mental health. What I have learned from this course is that, for example, I can apply the theory I have learned to apply in the example I discussed above, that the Hyundai brand have given BTS as a brand endorsement, which give the company a huge turnover, so that I can compare with the balance theory that BTS has a lot of fans around the world. Since Hyundai has given BTS as a brand endorsement, fans who like BTS will also like Hyundai too.